episode 7 of Fat Lads in Kilts.
Today we're in the Scottish borders, and right now we are in the Kirk of the Forrest in Selkirk. We're then going to head to Jedburgh and Melrose.
So join us on our adventure. So today we're at the beautiful Kirk of the Forrest, which is believed to be the site of a medieval kirk located in Selkirk, which is a short drive from Sir Walter Scott's house in the Scottish borders. Now, the Royal Borough of Selkirk is one of the oldest in Scotland and has a rich history with strong connections with several prominent Scottish historical figures, including William Wallace, Mary Queen of Scots, Bonnie Prince Charlie, and not forgetting Sir Walter Scott.
It's also the resting place of the relatives of 32nd President of the United States, Franklin D. Roosevelt. The Kirk of the Forrest is allegedly where Sir William Wallace was proclaimed Guardian of Scotland in recognition of his military success at the Battle of Stirling Bridge in 1297. After the battle, Wallace rounded up the Scottish nobles and held a parliament at the Kirk, which would have seen him become the Guardian of Scotland.
It was from here he went on to becoming the legendary figure that he still remains to this day. The original church, which stood here, is long gone. However, the remains of a later church are still intact. The church would have been located in a dense forest. This is where the name Selkirk comes from. It roughly translates to Church of the Forest.
There's a chicken, Stevie, look. What's on there? That must have been... Anyway, right, sorry, we digressed. Right behind me is the Murray Mausoleum. And now the Murray family is the maternal ancestors of Franklin D. Roosevelt on his mother's side. So we're going to go in and have a look at some of the graves here. And this is You alright? Right.
Can you make that up?
Oh, my leg.
We'll have to keep this in.
You better. Right, I'll go through it. Oh. Right. This is the Murray family. Steve, you take over.
So down here you'll see the final resting place of the Murrays.
Right, I'm away to cry. So we're standing in the grounds of Melrose Abbey, which is a stunning Gothic style abbey built in the form of St John's Cross. It was originally founded by David I in 1136 and it was Scotland's first Cistercian monastery.
Now, David I also founded KILTS and Jedburgh Abbeys, which are all located within the Scottish borders. The abbey thrived for over 450 years, with the last monk died around about 1590. However, the parish church was in use until around 1810.
Over the years it saw its fair share of conflict and it's been destroyed and rebuilt many times. It was also a very highly desirable resting place and considered to be a privilege to be buried here.
Now, King Robert the Bruce's heart is buried here, whilst his body is interred in Dunfermline Abbey. Alexander II is also buried here.
Beside the abbey you will also find the Commendator's house, which is believed to have been built around the 15th century and was the abbot's residence.
So we're standing in the grounds of the Abbey. Isn't it gorgeous? Look at this. What a magnificent place this would have been. You can just see the outlines of the old buildings that stood here. This is a must if you're coming to the Scottish borders. So beside the Abbey and just behind me you will also find the Commendator's house, which is believed to have been built around the 15th century. This was also the Abbot's residence. Now the Commendator's house is now a fantastic museum with lots of great medieval artefacts on display. From the house you'll be able to see just how large the Abbey really is, with the foundations visible of the Abbot's Hall. It truly is a beautiful abbey to explore, with some unusual sculptures on the exterior, including hobgoblins, cooks with ladles and a bagpipe playing pig.
So we're standing here at the resting place of the heart of Robert the Bruce. Now Robert the Bruce requested that his heart be taken on crusades by Sir James Douglas, his best friend, and he also requested that his heart be buried here at Melrose while his body is interred at Dunfermline. So this is here is the location of the heart of Robert the Bruce. All this making YouTube videos is hungry work. Starving. Oh, lovely.
Oh, look at that. Mmm. Num 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 num. Mmm. Heaven. Now, if we ever bring you to Melrose, a must is the ice cream shop just behind us. 3 scoops, strawberry, happy man.
Stunning.
So we're standing here at the Leaderfoot Viaduct, which is an old railway bridge. You can just see behind us.
So the Leaderfoot Viaduct was built in 1865 by the Berwickshire Railway Company, and it has 19 spans and runs over the River Tweed. It's an absolutely spectacular feat of Victorian engineering. 5 seconds.
So 30 minutes later, we're still in the van. I've demolished my ice cream. Steve's still eating his. Never met anybody that eats ice cream so
I like to
slow.
savour it.
Jeez, this is going to be a long day.
So the house in front of us is called Mary Queen of Scots House, and it's a typical 16th century mansion house, and it is believed that she lodged here during her visit to Jedburgh in 1566 to conduct a royal inspection of the border country. While she was here, she was taken ill and nearly died after an epic journey to Hermitage Castle. In 1587, as she awaited her execution, legend has it that she said, "Would that I died at Yethart." So she wishes she had died at Jedburgh.
So we're now standing outside Jedburgh Abbey. Now the Abbey was founded around 1118, originally a small priory before being given full status of a working monastery. It's believed King David I chose this site close to the English border as a show of power and strength to his English foes.
This is one of 4 abbeys which were built around the 12th century in the Scottish borders. It wasn't until 1143 that it became a fully working Augustinian abbey.
Now, King David I died in 1153 and is buried in Dunfermline Abbey. This is also where King Robert the Bruce is buried.
By around 1285 the abbey would have been completed. However, during the late 12th century the abbey was in the hands of the English after many conflicts, which eventually saw the lead stripped from the abbey roof and partly destroyed.
Over the next few centuries, parts of the abbey were destroyed by the English earls, who wouldn't think twice in burning down and destroying whatever stood in their way. The abbey was partly destroyed and rebuilt many times.
Around 1560, after the Reformation, the abbey was a shell of its former self, and the monastic life virtually came to an end.
In the mid-1600s, a new church was built in the west nave of the abbey as the tower structure was deemed unsafe.
In 1875, a new parish church was built a short distance away, and worship stopped at the abbey.
Here we are standing in the nave of Jedburgh Abbey. This is magnificent. So this brings us to the end of episode 7 of Fat Lads in Kilts.
Thanks very much for watching, folks. Please subscribe to our channel. We'd be most appreciative. It's free, and if you press the notification bell, you'll get notified every time there's a new video.
Excellent.
Thanks very much for watching.
Thanks now. See you next time.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye-bye.